When these ducks were itty bitty, I just jokingly named them Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Donald. And once their feathers came in, I was kind of glad. They were all the mottled brown. And I was kind of excited, okay, it looks like we've got 4 girls. We'll get lots of duck eggs and all of that lovely. And of course, Lily and Jocelyn bought these for me. And I had told them, if they're girls, I'll keep them for duck eggs. If they're boys, they're going to have to go. Well, these 3 in the front, the pink, red, and kind of yellow-green bracelets, are molting, and their feathers are coming in as males. They're going to have the gray bodies, the green heads, the stripe on the neck. And so it looks like we actually ended up with Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Daisy. Because Daisy with the orange bracelet is not molting and changing colors. So 2 of these boys are going to have to go to freezer camp. I'll keep one. And if Daisy, and I guess we'll rename the one that's left, we'll name Donald. If Daisy and the winning boy decide to lay eggs and have babies, that's fine with me. So, unfortunately for Lily and Jocelyn, their little duck collection they decided to give to Mama is going to be cut in half. And I hope they don't mind too much. Alright, Daisy, you better start picking a suitor. Alright, boys. Enjoy your last few days. This is where I planted some beans along the pavilion. It does look like there's at least 3 or 4 here. Oh, actually a bunch more. Alright, so Cherokee Trail of Tears are coming up. And it does look like a couple of the Tess, really? A couple of the yard long or noodle beans are coming up on that end. However, there might be one coming up in there. We'll see. So that is the east side. And then over here on the west side, let's see how these are doing. Not seeing any noodle beans on the end. Tess, really? Come on. Does look like there might be one coming up here. That looks like it's probably going to be a Kentucky Wonder. Does look like there might be, I don't know, we'll see. Here's one, here's one. Here's some more. Those might be Kentucky Wonders. It does look like we have one already up. Right there. Oh, Tess, quit rubbing on me. Right there is a noodle bean, and it looks like there's at least one. Tess, quit rubbing on me. It looks like there's at least one more. Tess, stop it. Rubbing on the camera and me is not help. Tess, really? You're not helping me. Okay, before she rubs on me again, right there's another one. So, alright, so we do have, Tess, again, you're not helping. We do have some beans coming up. So I did see, we have some Iroquois skunk beans coming up. I do have another mammoth sunflower here. This one had a black seed cap on it, so I think that was going to be a black Russian. Here's some more Iroquois skunk beans coming up. As we move down, you'll see we have quite a few more. This one just got rolled on by Lucky. Here's another seed. Sunflowers that came up. Probably a mammoth. Here's one that's a mammoth. And then here are some more of the Iroquois skunk beans coming up. I'm so excited because that's one of my favorites. They are a black and white bean, obviously being called a skunk bean. And they turn blue and white when you cook them. Now we did get a couple more of the mammoth sunflowers coming up. One right over there. There's another Iroquois skunk bean. So I'm excited about the progress there. And then over here, we have quite a bit of progress. Here we have, I believe, I'll have to double check my notes, but I put scarlet and scarlet runner beans and sunset runner beans on the outside. So a few of these have come up. These are the Blauhildes in the middle, and then some more of the scarlet or sunset runner beans coming up there. I'll have to check my notes which side is which, but the pink flowered ones are sunset runners, and the red flowered ones are the scarlet runners. Then over here we still have our volunteer petunia mixed in with some sunflowers, and we're looking for the good mother Stallard beans, and honestly I'm not seeing a single one. That is disappointing. Alright, well, maybe I'll try to put some Kentucky Wonders there and see if they'll come up. With my luck, about the time I put the Kentucky Wonder seeds in, good mother Stallards will come up, and I'll have all sorts of mixed up beans climbing up this wall. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but the mammoth sunflowers on this side are doing pretty good. They're starting to come into their own and look a little stronger. That's good. So hopefully they are a 50 to 65 day from germination, germination to production. So hopefully by the end of August to the beginning of September sometime, we should start getting some beans. Very cool. I'm excited to watch the progress here. So I've got 8 5-gallon buckets and 7 of these big mineral tubs that my neighbors were gracious enough to give to me. We're going to go fill them up with leaf mulch from the village and bring it back, and then I will probably use another tub to kind of mix the leaf mulch and the potting soil that is in the grow bags, add in a little bit of the Happy Frog potting soil, which is, I only have 1 bag of that, so there's not going to be a whole lot of that in each of the grow bags. I may put that kind of right in where I plant things, so it has a good little boost. And of course I can sprinkle some of the blood meal and the general garden fertilizer on top of the grow bags, so that as they get watered or as it rains, that fertilizer will work its way in and help the grow bags have plenty of nutrients for the plants. So now I guess I have to be done stalling. This is not a fun job. I have to just go and shovel. Lots and lots of shoveling. But I'm trying to get it done here in the morning before it gets too hot. So that's my plan. Alright, catch you later. Okay, so finally have them all full. 8 5-gallon buckets, 7 of those, I'm guessing 20-gallon mineral totes, and I'm exhausted. Whew. But anyway, all this is leaves that the village collects every fall and spring when they do their cleanup, and they mulch it all up and bring it out here and let it decompose. And as far as I'm concerned, it turns into black gold. So I am ready to head back home, take a small break, and then head out to the garden and get working on revamping those grow bags so they've got some good nutrients in them and not just the same potting soil has been used probably for a couple years. I don't know for sure. And then hopefully I can get some things planted today. At least that's the goal. All right, we'll catch you later. So the leaf mulch that I get from the village obviously does not come screened. It's going to have little rocks in it, sometimes big rocks. It's going to have trash in it. It's going to have chunks that are not well broke down. Some chunks, you know, they'll crumble right up, no big deal, but other times you get big chunks where it's a mass of leaves that are still all together and haven't decomposed. Kind of like this. This is all more leaf material that's all pressed in layers. So I have extra buckets over here. I've got the green ones for trash. The white one here is for rocks. There's another white one over there for more stuff that needs to compost more. So the rocks I'll save because having a few rocks, and most of these that are in this are real small ones. I mean, we're talking like little ones. Having a few rocks in there is not a bad thing. As the microbiology grows in your soil, it breaks down those rocks into their original mineral form and makes it more soluble so that the plants can take up those minerals, and it makes your food more nutritious. So having some rocks in your bags or in your containers is not a bad thing, and your raised beds, whatever. And having some of the bigger compost pieces in the bottom of your bags or your raised beds isn't a big deal because it'll break down over time and eventually, add nutrition into your soil. But I am using these grow bags, so I really don't want like a bunch of big chunks in my grow bags. I don't want any big rocks in my grow bags. I'll throw a few of the small rocks in when I'm putting this back into the bags. And here's another one. This will go in the compost. But for the most part, I just want some well-screened soil. I don't want bits of trash in my soil. I don't want sticks in my soil. So those get thrown in the little compost thing. And anything that goes in the compost bucket is going to go into my throw all the plant stuff here and eventually it's going to break down pile. I don't have an active compost pile that I'm turning every day. At some point I might get that ambitious, but right now I'm not that ambitious. So I just have a pile where when I pull out plants or anything that I'm not feeding to my chickens. When I weed, I feed that to my chickens. If I'm pulling out tomato plants, you don't usually feed nightshades to your goats or to your chickens, so those go in my compost pile. That would be your potatoes, your peppers, your tomatoes, things like that. Eggplants, I'm trying to think, are eggplants a nightshade? Maybe? I don't know. But anyway, so anything that I'm not going to be feeding to my goats or chickens, I will put into this big pile over by my garden shed, and that's where I'll probably end up putting most of the stuff that comes out of here. But I really just want the small soil particles, this stuff. I don't know, I should bring this over here. I haven't moistened this at all, and I don't know if it'll focus and if you can see it or not, but this all used to be leaves, and it has just decomposed fabulously. And like I say, there's chunks that haven't, but they will eventually. And so this just adds a lot of nutrition, and this will kind of revamp the potting soil that is in the grow bags. It'll add more oomph, and then so it'll get growing good. All right, I gotta get to work. have a full barrel of leaf mulch mixed with grow bag soil. There is half of one of these tubs, a little more than half of the leaf mulch, and 2 of the grow bags worth of the potting soil. And I will probably be able to fill 3.5 to 4 grow bags out of what's in here now, with it all mixed together. We now have a lot of organic matter added in to the potting soil. It hasn't even been watered at all, and it's still trying to kind of keep its form a little bit. That's good, you want that. A little bit of water and this will be perfect. But I'm not adding the water until I have the grow bags in place, because carrying them full of water is going to make them kind of heavy. So I'm lazy, so I'm going to put it in place first and then water. But I can plant in this and expect it to grow. The bonus is I will also be adding on top of this in the grow bag, I will probably put 1 inch or 2 of fresh potting soil. And then I picked up some worms. We got some night crawlers and some big red worms, and they're just for fishing bait. Nothing fancy, but there's worm castings in here with the worms, and worm castings are great for your soil. And by putting the worms in there, they're going to take that organic material that we've just put in here. They're going to work through it. They're going to aerate the soil. They're going to make more worm castings, which is excellent for your plants. And that's just a little bonus. There are worms already in here. When I was going through and sifting out, I'd have to pick worms out every once in a while and throw them back down in there. So with the leaf mulch, a little bit of the potting soil on top, some worms, I will add some bone meal and some, like a general organic fertilizer, dry stuff, this kind of sprinkle on the top, so that as they get watered or if it rains, it will work its way down into the soil and continue to feed the soil, so that the soil can then feed my plants. So super excited, finally getting some of this done. I've got a long way to go. I still have 6.5 of these to sift through, plus I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all 8 of the 5-gallon buckets to sift through, and 26 more grow bags. So I will try to get half of one of these and 2 grow bags all mixed together in a wheelbarrow, and then divvy it back out. I have some more of these that are empty, that once I get stuff mixed, if I have more than I can put in the grow bags that are empty, I'll just start filling these with the good mix, and as I collect it, I'll have lots of extra. I have more of these containers. I can fill these containers, put holes in the bottom, fill these up, plant in them. They'll be fabulous containers to grow things in. I can use this to supplement where I want to grow other things, like on the berm. I can dig out spots to put my squash. That's what I did last year, is I put some good soil and I dug a hole, put some good soil in, planted my seeds, and then let them just do the rest, and it worked out pretty well. So I'm excited. I have some more soil so I can grow more things. And yes, it is late in the season. Today's July 4th, but if I don't plant it, I know I won't get any produce. If I plant it, then I might get some produce before we get our last frost sometime in October. Or our first frost, sorry, sometime in October. So I still have most of July, August, September, probably half of October. So I've got like 3.5 months left. That's 90 to 100 days left. I'm super excited about that, because there are a lot of things that I can grow in that time period. So we are on our way.